Hello, beautiful sisters. This is Suzette Winona Summers, and I wanted to come on today and talk about speaking your truth. So, when you are faced with a situation where you need to speak your truth, whether it's maybe somebody at the grocery store cuts in front of you, or maybe the barista gives you the wrong drink, or maybe you buy something and it doesn't fit correctly, or it's damaged, or whatever. Do you use your voice? Do you stand up and say, excuse me, I was in line here? Or do you say, oh, this is the wrong drink, I need you to make me a new drink? Or do you just silently take it? Do you sit back and not stand up for yourself? If you're in an argument with somebody, or somebody steps over a boundary of yours, do you say, excuse me, that wasn't appropriate, or when you did that, I felt this way? Do you speak your truth with honesty and courage and grace? Do you hold your center when you speak your truth? Or do you bottle it up and push it down deeper and deeper until suddenly it explodes in a rage, and you feel out of control, but you feel like you finally let go? Because that type of explosion, often what happens when we push it down and push it down, that energy comes out sideways. It comes out at people in ways that are disproportionate with the situation at hand, and it affects our relationships, right? Because maybe we're taking something out on somebody that has nothing to do with them. We've just been stuffing it down for so long that it explodes, or we feel like that's the only way we can express ourselves, because we haven't learned to come into alignment and own our power and speak our truth with grace and with power and with a sense of worthiness and a sense of the right to take up space verbally and physically, and to ask for what we want. And often, not only does it affect the things we say, but it affects the things we do too. Because, again, like I've spoken about before, everything starts in the mind. So when you're getting ready to say something, standing up for yourself, asking for what you want, needing to return something, or confront someone about something, are you feeling empowered and free to do that? Or do those little voices come in your head that say, oh, well, that's not very nice? Or maybe, or, well, they're going to think you're a bitch, or they're going to think that you're angry at them, or who do you think you are to ask for that? Who do you think you are to ask for what you need? Why do you think you're worthy of that? Or what other kind of voices come into our heads? Things like, if you say that, you're going to be starting a fight, and they're going to be mad at you, and that little inner critic, and it comes by lots of different names. It can be, some people call it the inner critic, some people call it the parasite. In one tradition that I've studied, it's considered the ego, and that inner voice, it's not necessarily evil or bad. It really is there to try to support us and protect us, but it has it twisted. It's trying to keep us from confrontation, or maybe, a lot of times it's rooted in the past. Like, we're afraid we're going to be yelled at or put down or made uncomfortable or whatever. So that voice is trying to prevent us from that discomfort. But it's not the truth of this present moment. This present moment, we are adults. We are strong, powerful women who are here to take up space, to use our voices, to ask for what we want, to ask for what we need, to stand up for ourselves. So when we are, there's some ways to know. When we are speaking our truth with confidence, we don't have an agenda. We're not trying to hurt anybody. We're not trying to scare anybody. We're not trying to create fear. We're simply coming from a neutral place of asking for what we want without an agenda. We are honest. We're clear. We are powerful. And we're doing it with grace and respect. Simple. There's no charge to it. There's no, when I say charge, like a negative charge, or there's no oh, I need to be forceful, or I need to get ready to fight. It's not like that. It's neutral. I'm standing in my power. I'm standing in my truth. There's nothing to fear. I'm not creating fear in another, because that's usually what happens. That dynamic happens. I'm just coming present, and I'm stating my truth, and I'm holding myself in a place of honor and truth. That's it. And if you're coming out of anger, if you notice that when you do speak your truth, it comes out as anger, or there is a charge, it's time to check in and see where that's coming from. Is that coming from a fear that the other person is going to react negatively? Is it coming from a fear of you're not going to be heard unless you come across as angry? Where is that pattern coming from, and is it true? It's really important to become aware of our thoughts and ask ourselves if these agreements or if these voices, are they true? Because so often they're not. They're just coming from fear. They're coming from fear of repeating something that may have happened in the past. So there's those two I explained. There's the where you outburst, where there's that outburst, and then there's the other one where you hold your power and you speak your truth. But there's also the one where you don't speak at all and you're blocked. And I don't know if you felt that before, but where your throat hurts, where you feel like, I really need to say something, but I'm scared. Or, I know a lot of times that comes about as people will start to cry, their throat will hurt, and they'll start to cry because that energy wants to move. And when you feel that pain, when that throat is constricted, that's a blockage. And a lot of times there'll be tears along with it too. Because that energy wants to move, and it's scary to move that energy sometimes, because the agreement's there, the blockage is there, the inner voice there is painful to look at. It's painful to hear. So that's another part where we need to become aware. And if you're having that, if you feel like you can't speak your truth, if you're feeling like you have a block there, yeah, that's intense. That can be really intense. And if that's the case, please private message me, and we'll set something up to work through that blockage, because that is no way to live your life. You deserve to be free of that. You deserve to have your energy moving. So as you are becoming aware of those thought patterns and noticing what it is like to speak your truth or not speak your truth, or speak it in a way that's like abrasive or explosive, you notice those things. And then when you want to start working with that voice that's in there, because the voice inside our head, that's where it all starts to emerge from, right? It all starts with our thoughts. So first we have to become aware of our thoughts. So I wrote down four steps of addressing that and dealing with speaking your truth. First, you have to figure out, what are the voices in your head saying? Are they saying that, you have the right to speak up, to speak your truth? Or are they saying things like, you're going to start a fight, or you don't have the right to say anything, or you better be careful, or you sound stupid, or all those negative self-talk voices, those critical voices, are those in there? And if they are, become aware of them, right? It's all about awareness. We first need to become aware. Second, we need to commit to doing something different. I talk about that a lot, committing, right? We need to commit to ourselves that we are going to shift that voice. We're going to do something different because we're done. We're done doing this, right? So third, we need to create different voices in our heads. So we notice the voice. We're like, oh, you're not a very nice voice. You're not helping me. You're not supporting me. You're not encouraging me. Cut that off and then create a different. We're committing to stopping that. Cut it down. You can say bullshit. You can say stop. You can say enough. I have a guide about transforming your inner critic to your inner ally, and we use a cutting motion. Just cut that off. Stop it. And then we're going to visualize a different thought, and we're going to see that thought in light and beauty, and we're going to call that voice in. That voice that says, you have the right to speak your truth. You have the right to speak your truth. It doesn't matter, all those other negative voices. They're not supporting you. They're not protecting you. They think they are, but they're not. You are safe. You are powerful. You are grounded. Encourage those words. Commit to using those words. Commit to cutting off the critical self-talk. And fourth, once you step out and use your voice, or, and again, like it could be an action as well, because a lot of times that self-talk prevents us from taking a step we want to take. Maybe finding a new job, or meeting a new person, or anything, making a phone call even, right? When we take that step in spite of the fear is going to come up. It just is. That's just part of the human process, but we don't have to feed the fear. We can feed the encouraging voices. And when we do that, when we listen and we choose to absorb those encouraging voices, and we choose to step out in our center, in our power, in our groundedness, and we do something different, and we experience different results. Say I need to call a company because something I received in the mail was broken. And I call, and I'm afraid to call them because they're going to think that I'm lying, or they're going to think that I'm just trying to scam them or whatever. No, I know my truth, right? This thing is broken and I need them to fix it. So I use the phone, and before I get on there, I notice all these voices coming up. I stop them. I call in the good, supportive, encouraging voices. You are powerful. You have a right to ask for what you want. You have a right to ask for what you need. And I make the phone call, and I stand in my truth, and I stand in my power, and I say, I received this item in the mail yesterday, and it's broken. And they say, oh, well, let us, send it back to us. We'll send you a label. You send it back to us, and we'll give you a new one. Simple. I hang up the phone. I'm like, wow, that was so easy. I never would have done that before. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge it. Really acknowledge it. Say, wow, I was scared to do this. I chose to focus on positive voices and listen to encouraging voices. I stepped out and did that. and I got my needs met. Acknowledge that, because that is setting up new neural pathways where you can start doing things differently. Pretty soon, those fearful voices get smaller and smaller and smaller, and the encouraging, supportive, empowering voices get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's where we want to go, and that's what we want to do. So remember those 4 steps. Become aware. Commit to yourself, commit to doing something different, change the story, change the inner voice in your head, and acknowledge your successes. Simple, right? If you are tired of feeling like your voice doesn't matter, if you're tired of feeling like you can't speak your truth, if you want to get rid of that block in your throat that hurts every time you need to speak for yourself, private message me, we'll set up a call, we'll talk about it, and I just look forward to seeing you standing in your power, raising your vibration, bringing your highest and best self into the world. Standing in power, sisters. We are shifting the vibration of the planet together. I look forward to hearing your feedback, what you've been doing, how your voice comes through. Let me know in the comments. How is it? How is it for you to speak your truth? I want to know. I want to know, and if you've moved through that process, tell me what you've done. Share with me how that has worked for you. It's been great talking to you today. I look forward to talking with you all more soon. Happy spring! Yay! Everything is blooming and new life is coming forth. What a beautiful time of the year. I love it. I love it. And I love you. Have a good day. Bye.